Welcome to all our viewers. So, we are here again with yet another big talk for you. And today's topic is power of collaboration. We know that collaboration makes you successful not only as an individual but as a business. You can be much more successful if you have the collaborative approach, and that definitely increases your productivity. So, we have over here our esteemed guest for today, Vandana Tandon. Let me give you a brief about who is Vandana Tandon and what she brings onto this platform. With more than 18 years of experience in the field of B2B sales and business development, Vandana Tandon is the country manager of SIG Combi Block India Private Limited. Born and brought up in Kanpur, Vandana completed her graduation in BCom Honors from Kanpur University and her MBA from the Institute of Management Studies. During this long course of 26 years of her career, Vandana has handled several roles involving marketing and financial management, product management, strategy planning, business development, and many more. She started off as a management trainee at Infosys in 1994, and she has worked with PCM Data Systems, International Flavors and Fragrances, Tetra Pak, and Orano India before joining SIG in 2018. At this time, when SIG was refocusing its attention on the Indian market, the last 3 years have seen Vandana help bring about significant growth and development for this company by delivering impeccable trust, goodwill, and customer satisfaction. Today, SIG works with several leading F&B brands, including Dabur, Coca-Cola, Amul, and many more. And Vandana aims to establish SIG as a leader in the aseptic packaging industry in India through its wide range of innovative products and offerings. So, this was a little brief about Vandana, and I would like to welcome Vandana Tandon on this Big Talk. Thank you,
Yes,
Vandana, for being here. It's a great honor for us at VAs to have you on this Big Talk. Thank you so much for joining us.
thank you so much, yes, for the introduction. And yes, I think very well summarized. So, just to add that, yes, I have 18 years of experience in B2B. And prior to that, if I totally sum up, almost like 25 years of working experience. And last 4 years has been with SIG India, and wherein so for our audience who want to know a little bit about SIG, it's a business of aseptic cartons. So these cartons that we have, out of which we have all these juice and dairy products. So the company organization, we supply the filling machines, the packaging material that helps the brands to pack these juice and dairy products. So that's the business, is for our some of our audience who may not be knowing that what SIG business is all about, since it's more B2B and not so much of B2C selling.
So, in fact, I would like to know how has this journey been? I mean, you started off as a trainee, management trainee, right? So, would you like to share a few things about your journey from management trainee to a leader of the organization?
I think the journey has been very exciting, and exciting and full of challenges. And the good thing is that as long as it is challenging, it is interesting, it keeps you motivated. The moment there is no challenge, I think that is where the whole things becomes like a monotonous. So it was very interesting. In During the course of my career, I worked with these five organizations, and I spent a significant amount of time in each one of them. I'm a strong believer in the fact that you need to spend a certain amount of time in an organization to build a certain level of business, to leave behind something that you have like constructively delivered. And it was very exciting, so many customers that I've worked with, all different type of customers. They were big organizations, small entrepreneurs, big businesses, government organizations. Each one has been a very fulfilling experience. A lot of geographies that you get to travel, I think that is exciting. So you travel so much, you are going to different parts of the country, outside the country, and that also gives you a lot of it's very interesting. So I think overall it has been challenging, but very very satisfying journey, you know. Yes.
Great. And I'm sure that we will hear a lot about from your experience about the questions that I'm going to just pose in front of
Right.
you. So we hear about a lot of benefits of collaboration at workplace, right? Right from improved productivity to higher engagement. According to you, what are your top two or three benefits of collaboration?
So, I think collaboration is very, very important. And a lot of time, I think there was a time that, you could say that a collaboration is like something that is, it's good to have. But I think in today's time, it is mandatory. We're all looking at very lean organization. If I look at, SIG India, we are a small team, but we are very, very collaborative. And I think that is what makes us so effective. So, as an organization, we are a small, lean organization, but we deliver fantastic result. And each member of the team, works close collaboration with the other person, and the output is really fantastic. So, when we are competing in the market, we might have big organizations with a lot of manpower strength, but because we've got a small team of people who are working so collaboratively together, I think we are successful. So the power of collaboration is absolutely mandatory. The kind of the thought, the innovation, the ideas, the results that it can deliver, I think it's cannot be overestimated. As organizations, I feel they become bigger sometimes, that it's this becomes lesser because the lot of people, they do not know each other, they cannot work together, and sometimes the effectiveness actually becomes lesser. So I strongly feel that a collaborative team is the only way, and we have seen this very successfully implemented in SIG India.
In fact, Vandana, I'm going to pick up that point of yours about, some of the employees might hesitate to collaborate or, don't comply. So how do you motivate a team to work collaboratively? From you, as a leader, what are the things that you do to motivate
Yeah.
them?
Yeah, I think it is important to understand that why do people not collaborate? It can be
Mm.
so many different reasons. And then once you understand that, so I may come, I have worked lifelong in an organization where I come from a culture of non-collaboration, where each one is working, driving their own agenda. So I have a certain behavior pattern which might be hard to break, and I continue to work like that. A lot of reasons people don't collaborate is they may not have the whole vision about the organization. So I don't understand the bigger purpose of the organization. So if I don't understand the bigger purpose, that I'm sitting in some remote area as part of the organization, then how do I collaborate overall? So that's another thing. um, I may People have trust issues a lot. Sometimes people, they don't know other people so well. So I don't know the rest of the team. I don't trust the other team members so much. So so then how do I collaborate? These are multiple reasons that people can have for not collaborating, and I think that is where this whole exercise of building the team, so having a team that really knows each other, I think is very important. The team should trust each other. I think for me, how can I collaborate with someone if I don't know? I think people only work with people who you know well, who you can trust. I think this whole thing, investing enough time and effort in getting the team together, ensuring that they trust each other, they work with each other, I think that is really significant in this whole collaboration. Plus, of course, some things like we implement like a performance system that will award collaboration. Like we have cross-functional KPIs. So, like in SIG, we will have some common KPIs for all the members of the team, which is each one of them has a visibility to. So they know that this is what I have to achieve because it has been discussed with me and I have a lot of clarity. So then everybody works together because it's also there in as a part of the performance management. So certain things which are part of the whole process, and certain softer things like bringing the organization together, ensuring that they have enough conversation and they really trust each other. I think that's also a key to building a collaborative organization. Of course, it's a long process. I don't think, firstly, it may not be easy. You can try and still you will not be able to achieve it so fast. I think the whole culture will take a long, time to develop, but we have to start always, and then of course you see the results, and very very effective. Yeah.
So the key is that investing time with your team members, bringing them together, letting them spend some time with each other. And I think that may help them to build that trust, right, with each other. And like you said, yes, trust is an important factor to work collaboratively and trust each other that, okay, we can depend on the others to do something. And that will probably help them to break that, whatever, doubts they have. So, do you have, like from your experience, I'm just asking you, would you like to share an example where you actually have faced such kind of an issue and where you have seen some people pulling load from, others just because some other members have not been collaborative enough?
So not giving like specific people name happens
Mhm.
all the time, that there will be some people in the team who will always pull the load more than the other people. So that is because of multiple reasons, because maybe the person is more engaged, they, because maybe they are more driven, they're more motivated, they might have more capability, and that is where they're trying to do. So I think here it is very important to if you think it's happening overtly, one has to give the feedback in a way that is, to both the people here or to several people, because it's not a long term strategy. So if I am, kind of driving the team too much, then there will be a point where I'm going to saturate and burn myself. So
Mhm.
what happens in that case? And then you're also not helping your team member to evolve. So by doing that, we may achieve short-term goals, but in the long term, somewhere I feel that there will be this whole feeling of the resentment that will come in, or the fact that I'm doing significantly more, or I'm going to start getting burnt out. So it is always good to kind of try. One might do it in the short term because you have to achieve certain tasks, certain goals, but in the long term it is always that you have to enable other people to really rise to that level where they can deliver what is required of them. So this is what is, so giving the right feedback, and ensuring that all the parties here understand that what is the intent. It is always about the fact that why is it that you are giving that feedback, and what is the intent. And once they understand that it is the fact that they need to kind of up their skill to come to that level where they will also contribute equally, is going to be beneficial for them in the long run. So a lot of transparency, feedback, a necessary amount of open-ended conversations. I think those are the things that are needed. Yeah.
So, do you see that if there is, like you mentioned, right, this can be a derailer, and when you invest too much of your energy into building that collaborative environment? Any other behavior? Can you talk about, like, can you tell us about what can be some of the other behaviors that can be derailer in such kind of situation? To when you try to, build that collaborative environment, apart from, draining your energy in such situation.
Yeah, I think in a collaborative environment, there can be so many things. I think the fact is that, as I mentioned before, also that, a big derailer can be that, when people are not willing to, people have their own agenda to drive. And it is very, very common that sometimes, I don't have the buy in that, what is it in for me? So everybody is trying to see what it is in for me. I think that is where a common goal, so if you have a common KPI, or you have something, a performance management system that rewards, a common goal, then everybody has got to buy in to the whole collaborative effort. So what is my collaborative effort in SIG India? Let us talk about. So like we are trying to increase our base of business in India. We are trying to grow. We are trying to grow at a fast rate. If everybody understands that purpose and they are somehow part of that equation, I think the collaboration is going to be more. So that is very, very important. There can be so many other derailers. I think sometimes leaders, as a leader, we will make a mistake. For example, like um, you know you try to kind of not give maybe enough credit to your people, or sometime they say, no, you do the suddenly, something is going on, and you move too fast on it, and you do the end run without the team getting to know about it. So the small things, sometimes a basic thing like in a team, collaboration can happen when people are not letting other people express their opinion. Not everybody is as confident or as vocal. There are many members of the team who may not be that communicative. So if you really want a team which is like made up of different individuals to collaborate, everybody has to be given the equal effort. They have to give, or the equal amount of platform to voice themselves. And it happens all the time that they might feel that they're not being heard, or you try to put them down, or and then suddenly they will become closed and they will not contribute. So those are the kind of things that can become big derailers overall. So many things, I think, as I said, I think it's a long journey of creating a collaborative an environment, which definitely will not be a very easy, because here, end of the day, we are dealing with all of us are people, and we are all full of emotions and very complex. But I think the constant aim has to be to reach there. Yeah,
I think rightly said, Vandana. And as a leader, the major point that I pick up is to ensure that each and everyone is given that platform. Some might be just the quiet ones, right? So hear the tiniest of the voices out there in your team. Give them the opportunity to speak up and come out with their ideas. So that will help them also to collaborate with the others in the larger group, right? So when we
absolutely.
talk about all these, collaboration, and we know that the amount of diversity collaboration that can bring a project, that is tremendous. So many people coming together. So how do we ensure? How does a leader ensure its proper utilization?
Yeah, I mean, diversity, I think is, we all know that's the thing that all organizations talk about. And we also now try to ensure that there is enough diversity in the team, especially as I said that for example, once again, like going back to SIG. So we may be a small team, but we're definitely a diverse team, and that is what really helps us to achieve our goals. So, diversity, collaboration, I think they go hand in hand. So, because you have people who are not just, at different genders, so we try to have a mix of, enough women on the team and enough men. So, that is a good mix. We have people who are from different backgrounds, so you have people who are technical, who are marketing, people who are from, a financial background. And I think each one then individually, because of the diversity, they bring something to the table, which is a new idea, which is a new innovation. Then also, I think diversity in terms of overall behaviors also. So not everybody is the same, so you have some people who are different in terms of their overall personality. There are other who are different. So one tries to have a mix of people, and I think it is this kind of whole diversity that really works well. And also, yes, it leads to a good collaboration between. So you don't have everybody who's like a me too. We have a lot of people who are all individuals contributing in their with their own thought process, which is different, and you can see the difference, that this person has got is like this, and his comes from this background, this is the skill set. There's another person in the team who's got a different skill set, who has a different, and so they bring something else to the table, and it's a great mix that then works very well for collaboration. Yeah.
I think yes, and it's a great boon also, right, to have people from diverse background, diversity. I mean, when you have so many people coming from different backgrounds, you increase the pool of talent within your organization, within the team.
Yes,
So with that, when you spoke about women, also the gender diversity that we're talking about, my question to you is, how about collaboration at home? To help, because we know that so many women out there might struggle, not just to get onto your professional career, but also that collaboration that they would might seek from their home front to rise up in their workplace, right?
yeah, yeah,
So, what do you have to say about that?
yeah. No, that's so much true. And actually what happens is that as individuals we get so caught up in our own world that you keep seeing so many women around you, who would need that kind of a support and that you can give because you have that experience. So there are women, who can be your friends, who can be your family, who can be your neighbors, who might work for you, who are trying to do something, or who are still in the early stages of their career, or who might need some guidance. And I think there is so much that can be done. So one can share your own learnings, your own journey, your own experiences that you have with these people, and there are so many areas, small where you can help them. uh, Unfortunately, I think, as I said, because of the fact is that we all get so caught up in our own world that often we do not step out of our core work, and we do not go out and actively do it. But I think it is very very important that women come up, and help other women to succeed. And I think it is very absolutely like a must. And I personally feel that I hope that I can do much more of it, and actively, and and that's really like very very important, I feel. Yeah, that's how I think we are
Collaborative.
going to empower, do our bit of contributing towards women empowerment that we talk about, and really build a strong, this circle of the women, and help each other, and work with each other. I think it's absolutely critical. Yeah,
Yeah, to have that support system, right? That also
absolutely.
is kind of a necessity when you talk about being successful at workplace. So,
Right.
Vandana, we also have some audience questions. So, I would like to go in for the first question that has come from our audience. So, what are the top three strengths that emerging women leaders should adapt to thrive as senior leadership to thrive in the senior leadership role?
So I think if you are in a senior leadership role, if you have to be successful, I think there are so many things that women have to. I think one is, of course, to so we say that you need to have a strong networking. And when I say networking, I mean you need to have a strong group of. And here maybe the whole thing about this connecting with other women in the workplace, and other leaders. So network. Women sometimes hesitate to network, because it is not an inherent quality. So there is always this a long it has come by through ages that you hesitate to network, you hesitate to actively build strong relationships with your peers, or even across with the customers. And there are so many things. I think as a leader, I think that is very important, that one has that core circle of people where you can connect with. So I think that is very very important for women leaders. Of course, women have already a lot of empathy, is a big strength, so women leaders have that, always more empathetic, because that is again, once again, the core nature, where women have got, I believe, they have a higher emotional intelligence than men. And I think that is something that you can further work on. And my thing would be that never hesitate, one should not have a bias against your own self, that because I'm a woman, i I cannot do it. I think that's the biggest bias that a lot of us have in our minds, and that needs to be broken. And it's, I mean, we do it in SIG. I mean, if you see globally, there is a whole drive, and even in India, where we hire a lot of women now in different department. So, for example, we have a technical team where it's only men traditionally. You never have an engineer who's working on the machine who's a woman, but we've started hiring women also there to break that bias that that women cannot be, that there are certain areas which are only reserved for women, and there are certain work that men do better. And those are the kind of biases that we are constantly trying to break. And I think women leaders also need to have that strength to break these and drive this as much as they can in their organization. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think women are sometimes harsh on themselves. They
Yes.
and sometimes they just, like you said, they just hesitate to approach. There might be out there, someone whom you can just reach out on a call, or just, pick up your phone and reach out. So
Yes.
I'm sure that that would help women to rise up to whatever, strength they want to go to. And never doubt yourself, like you said, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
great one over there, Vandana. The next question that I have over here is considering we still somewhere are in this work from home scenario, not completely out of this, right? And when most of the teammates work from different places, like in our organization also we have people from all over the world. So how do we ensure effective communication without this face-to-face meeting, because we know face-to-face meeting makes a huge difference. So when we are still in the virtual setup, what is the best way to connect, to really connect with people? What are your 2 or 3 tips on this?
I have told everybody in my team either we should keep the camera on, and most of the people they refuse to do so because and sometimes I'm also guilty of it because when you're at home and you're working from home, you're not prepared, so certain thing happens and you're not like sitting in your office all dressed up, and and a lot of people then they will just do the call and they will not switch on the camera. I think that discipline, so work from home is a reality that we will all adapt to because we have realized it is efficient and also it is to be balanced. So I think we are looking at a flexible working pattern where some days you work from office and some days you work from home, so that it's a good balance and it is going to be the best solution and deliver the necessary results, and we think it's going to be very effective. But during the time when one is working from home, I think it is very important for us to have the self discipline that to have that self discipline to take out. So otherwise, what also happens is in the retrospect, you kind of get caught in this whole thing where you spend more time. So because we have not kind of maintained that discipline of time where we start the day, you end the day, you take a break in between, you have your meals in between. So people are constantly working. So it is not that you're not working, you're constantly working, but then it is detrimental, and we've seen some people really having health issues and getting overworked. So try to get that discipline during the work from home, I think, and self discipline is really important, which sometimes I think 95% people have let go. Only 4 or 5% that you'll see have effectively maintained it. So for all of us, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And when you spoke about the, shying away from switching on the camera, I can relate to it so well that that happens again in our organization too. Yes, sometimes, we are just in our comfort zone. And yes, the key is to be disciplined. And
Absolutely.
yes, yeah. So probably that would help, connect with each other in a much more better way, like we would on a coffee break see each other, right, in the office, in the real face-to-face situation. If you maintain that, then I think the collaboration would definitely happen and take place, right?
Absolutely.
Moving on to the next one, sometimes it's also, now this might come again as a gender-based question, but it is somewhere seen that women shy away from, bragging about their achievements, like, or, talk about their achievements as compared to men, you know. So, what are the good ways for women to do this constructive bragging if they have to, build up their, and that would help somewhere, right? In sometimes in your career, this seems to help. So, how do you do that? What are your tips on that?
Yes, I think so. As you, I think with more years of experience, and so one is, of course, it's totally correct. I totally endorse the fact that women will brag lesser than men. And even when you have got significant years of experience, and also with a lot of confidence in all field, you will still be shy of bragging. So I think, but to me, it's not needed because performance speaks for your own self. you know
Mm.
what I would link here is the fact that when one is more younger, and don't have that many years of experience, and that is the time that you see this inherent shyness in a lot of young people I work with, and especially the women people I see that they hesitate to speak, they are shy, they will not talk about their achievements or what they have achieved at all. And that is where I think a lot of mentoring from especially women leaders should come in, where they can see that here is someone who you were 20 years back, and then you need to kind of encourage that person to talk about their achievements, to talk about what they've done, to speak out in a forum, you know so that is important. So I think it is again women leaders who have to coach and mentor other women leaders to talk and speak about themselves. Yes.
So, Vandana, just an interesting thing over here, right? So, do you feel that younger women lack that more than the older women? Like with the experience, you come out of that shyness. Like going by your own experience, right? 20 years back, like if someone would have said, and maybe you would have hesitated to open up about and tell about your achievements. But now,
Yeah.
so does it really happen that way? Like,
It
is
does. It
there
does.
that young factor?
I know it because you know I have got a role which is like a very a role that will be for a personality which is an extrovert, but I'm a highly introverted person. I feel I'm still very. If you have to really classify, I will classify myself as a shy person. Even now, after 25 years of working experience and day in and day out interaction with so many people, so what I'm trying to say is then one can imagine what happens, when you're still, very raw and fresh and young, and you feel that hesitation and the fact that you also got a lot of responsibilities from your home end, and you got a lot of burden, and you feel then the society is always judging you that you're getting married and you're going to have kids. So I think those are the kind of things that one has to always coach the younger people to work on. Yeah.
And do you think that this factor also helps in collaboration? Because if you open up and when you even talking about, bragging, constructive bragging, as we said earlier, you think that factor also, somewhere constitutes in collaboration, helps you to collaborate with more people?
Yes, why not? So I mean, you will collaborate. Women will collaborate more with women, and of course, you collaborate with the rest of your team members. And of course, now I think more and more this because of the fact that we have more women in workforce now. This
Hmm.
whole mindset is already changing.
Right.
One can see that it is not the same, that so people now respect women more. You have got more women in a workforce. You try to support them more by giving them a very great platform of flexibility, understand some of the challenges they will go through initial part of their life when they're still working on the whole family part. So already that is happening, and I see that the male colleagues also really understanding and supporting. And I've seen that in my own organization, where one person reaches out for the other and supports each other. So definitely leads to a collaboration for sure.
Great. So there are some more questions from the audience. If I can go ahead. So yeah, this is on what you had mentioned earlier about building trust with executives, right? So this viewer has to ask that I'm sure it came because of your execution capability and a lot more. Can you share some of the tips on how to crack this, how to build that trust with
Build the trust with
executives from your team, within your team members, with executives?
Yes, yes. So I think so. A little bit of hesitation is which was there inherent. I think one has to break that hesitation. So as I mentioned earlier, it's the bias that one has towards the self that you have to break.
Right.
You need to reach out. One has to overcome that the own the inherent barrier or shyness or whatever you can say, and reach out to other members of the team, collaborate with them, talk to them, have constructive discussions. I think these are basic things that one need to do. It is not rocket science. It is not something which is very great. One just needs to connect with other people and to make that effort. Sometimes it is more comfortable for, to you stay in your own shell. It is more easier for me
So,
to stay within my shell. But then that is not the way. I think one has to reach out and talk and share, and there is so much more that you can actually bring to the table, and which you can also learn from others. So I think it's more about the fact that one has to break the bias towards self and reach out to people.
that's the key to, open up yourself and reach out, right? Thank you for that. And the other question that has come up, what strategies can one take to ensure healthy collaboration, trust, and synergy between large teams when you can give individual attention to each team member?
So, so as I said, that fostering an environment which is conducive for people. So it has to be a balance. So when you are looking at the organization, I think it has to be a balance between task and relationships. It cannot be where everybody is only doing their own work, and it is not where people are only having relationships, because that will also become very lopsided. So I think to get that balance in, where you have an organization which also has got a good relationship working with each other, and they're also oriented towards the task or the objective of the work we have, fostering that kind of an environment, is important. And that's the balance you try to maintain. So one should not, we cannot, we need to actively engage, encourage the team members to work with each other, to spend time maybe outside office, to do certain things together, facilitate team, small things like small get-togethers, going out, doing any activity or event together. I think all that is very important. And at the same time, the team also has got the hold on the what we have to deliver. I think that's the my strategy would always be to maintain that balance, and to ensure that that it is done like that. Yeah, as a manager, I think you need to drive that always, this kind of healthy relationship within your team members.
So, like they say, have fun at, when you're working. So that brings in people together. That helps to build relationships. So
Yeah.
have those moments, but don't lose the sight of
Very,
your responsibility.
yeah. So maybe I have a lot of my team members on the call, so I have to tell them. So it's always the balance. So we need to have fun, we need to do the
Yeah.
work, and how
The
need to
highlight is on the word balance. So don't worry about your team members will also take that in mind, keep that in mind. Yeah. So I think that helps to bring people together for sure, because you have your moments, and when you achieve that, achieve any goal as a team, you want to have that fun also together with the team, right? So that helps to bring the, or to maybe make the strong, bond stronger and stronger, as they say. Going to the next question, here is a viewer who has asked, there will be a few bad days where you might be overwhelmed with too many things to be taken care of, where everything is considered to be of utmost priority. How do you manage that without stress? This is a little away from collaboration, but then again, with workplace, we all face this. We have our days. So how do
Yeah,
we manage
I have to say, I do not manage it without stress. So it's very, very tough, because you do get stressed, and there are so many times that which are bad days, and there
that?
is so much on the table which is going around, and there's so much on the plate, and it is, one will not be able to manage it. But what is the best way to do it? I always feel is that when it is getting too much, I think a little bit of a stepping back, so one needs to step back a little bit, look at everything, and see that, prioritize. For me, prioritization is a big one. I'm all one for prioritize your work, and that's what I keep telling the team members also, that we cannot do everything at once. So one has to know what is important, what is not. I list down, for me, writing down everything. It might sound very cliche, but it's really helped that, when you put it down on paper, you can prioritize, and that, every day these are the important things that I need to get done. Sometimes to step back a little bit. And I think that stepping back is important all the time, because things will always be very, very, very stressful and very hectic. Then you always have to have a certain time, which is your me too time, which where you are doing things. It can be anything. It can be a small household chore. It might be the fact that, I just watch something, or you step out, or you go for a walk, or you go out for with your friends. The work cannot just take over your entire life, because if you allow that to do, again, it's a short term strategy. Eventually it will become something that you will not enjoy, and it will become very, very stressful. And then when you're stressed, you're passing on the stress to your team, so it's like a vicious circle, and then you're passing on the stress to people around you, and everybody, the whole environment is getting stressed. So I think it is very important for leaders to maintain that the whole, this whole objectivity of the fact that, because it's something that will be 365 days. It's not something that's going to happen now today, and it's not going to go away tomorrow. Yeah.
Completely with you on this, Vandana. I think stress is something which is inevitable, right? How you deal with the stress, that's important. And like you said, yes, take that time off, balance it. Again, balancing is the key over here, and let work not overpower you. let keep things in check and make those priority lists, which will be helpful. So these are the some of the tips that has come to you all, viewers. Please make a note of this. And with that, there is one interesting question over here that has come from the audience. Looking at that, same rear view mirror, there must have been some moments where things didn't work out the way you wanted. There are speed breakers that make the ride bumpy, or sometimes we just give up. Looking back at challenges that you handled, in those difficult moments, what were you telling yourself that kept you going? What was that inner monologue that helped you to stay on course?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that so every there are many challenges, of course, and there are high days and there are low days, and then sometimes you will have a success which is there, and sometimes you will not have the success which is not there. But I think the monologue that helps me is that it's all part and parcel of the thing. For me, I think it's just important for each one of us to understand the fact that it is not going to be a very it's not an easy journey, and the fact is that one has to be always relentless and keep going towards your goal and keep driving it. So every time there is a setback in anything, I feel one has to always get back and keep trying. So that's the way of life is, that you have to keep trying and trying and keep working towards it. And as long as one does not give up, you will always achieve it. I have always seen that with enough amount of time and effort, it will be done. And we have seen success. Whenever you invest the necessary amount of time and effort, you will always achieve it. There is no doubt about that. The important thing is to always stay there and keep doing what is right. And there is, I don't think, anybody that who can stop you from achieving what one has to. And for me, that has, and I think the challenge is the exciting part. Look at it as the challenge, which is what is the motivator and what actually drives you towards what you have to achieve. Yeah,
So I would say that, okay, keep on, stay there and take this as a challenge which will keep you going, right? And don't lose a focus. Try and you will definitely come out of all those challenges. So
absolutely.
then if I have to ask on these lines, what is your mantra? What is the mantra that, if one mantra that you have to talk about which you live by?
For me, the mantra would be that, just keep going, just keep going, and do not give up. Ever. And as long as you are just looking at your goal and you keep going, as I said, you will always achieve the circus. And in retrospect also, maintain the balance. I think that is something that maybe I could have done a little bit better. If I look back and see, there was a thing about the rear view mirror and what you could do better. I think those are the type of things that one thinks you could do better. More networking, there are so many thousands of people you've met. Maybe stay more connected. Do not get too much focused on only one aspect of your life, but try always to maintain a balance, to enjoy what you do, because I think it's going to be a constant part of your life. So if you enjoy along the way, I think it's going to be better. So those are some of the things that I have from my experience. Yeah,
Okay, so let me just summarize by saying that keep going, towards your goal. You'll be able to reach that goal and balance it. That has been throughout, whatever I've heard from you, Vandana, you have been saying about talking about balancing it well, so that probably you don't tire out, right? You do not feel that exhaustion, like let's say that, and you enjoy what you're doing more and more
absolutely.
if you balance it well, right?
Absolutely.
So a great input from you, Vandana. With that, I come to the last question, and this is specifically from the founder of our company, Anuranjita, came out with this book, Can I Have It All? Which talks about, can women have it all? Like, why not? Can I have it all? Talks about, having that clarity, that confidence, that connect, collaborate, and, come out with your choices, be sure of your choices. So it talks about, this book talks about all of it. So if I have to take the broad aspect of can I have it all, what would be that it for you?
Yeah, so I think for me, yes, why not? As you rightly said, why not? Yes, I can have it all. And I think to all, my the women out there in the workforce, and also to the rest of the colleagues and the professionals and everybody else. Everybody can have it all. I think, as I mentioned earlier, it is all about staying focused, on your goal, and maintaining the balance. Keep your sanity, do not lose it in this whole world which is full of so many stress. Stay focused. Too many distractions, I think, for all of us. So let's stay focused, let's prioritize, and have fun. I think that is what life is all about, to have fun and enjoy in this whole journey and the process. Yeah.
Yes, I think those are definitely takeaways from this session, Vandana. So, first of all, let me thank you once again for the time that you have given us. And I'm sure our viewers have picked up the pointers that you have spoken about, for especially for power of collaboration, which we spoke about, and certain things like, as a leader, how can you help people to collaborate? The trust factor, opening up, reach out to people, networking, stay focused through your challenges, and at the same time, balance relationship and task. So, all these pointers definitely will help in power of collaboration, bringing people together and to be much more successful as a business, as an organization, and see also the increase in the productivity, right? So once again, from VA's team, I would like to thank you, Vandana, for your time. Thanks to our viewers for joining us for this Wit Talk. See you all again for the next Wit Talk. Till then, take care. Bye from our side. Thank you
Thank
very
you so
much.
much. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Vandana.